Moving on to, and this is a big year for the show, 1986. Big because four of the contestants were born that year, all of them 23. Chris, Matt, Lil, and Scott. So what would I have to suggest for each one of them? Let's start with Chris. Chris is more into the acoustic kind of folk rock stuff that he can do pretty well with. So two things that are possibilities for him. John Mellencamp's Small Town. Now, if you remember, there were two versions of this. There was a softer, slower, more acoustic version, and then there was a harder rockin' version that was a big hit, especially on MTV. And I think Chris could do either one of those and do pretty well with it if he puts his own spin on it and does something similar to what he did with Ain't No Sunshine. So that would definitely help him out. The other one is a song that if you are not a baby from the 80s or somebody who was really into music then, you may or may not remember a song called Silent Running by Micah and the Mechanics. That's another good possibility for Chris because it's in his vocal range. He wouldn't have to strain to perform the song at all in terms of the dynamics. And it would just be a good blast from the past. People going, wow, I haven't heard that one in years, and he did a good job with that. Matt. Okay, Matt is more in the bluesy R&B category, and people keep saying, well, you want to be rock, you want to be R&B, you want to be rock, you want to make up your mind. With certain songs from this particular period, he can have the best of both worlds. There's plenty of songs that are fusion songs that mix both those genres, where he could definitely find something that would make the judges say, wow, you are definitely back and you're not going anywhere, and it might possibly keep him out of the bottom three again. But for Matt, another song that's a blast from the past that people may not remember, and you can go to iTunes or any of the other music sites that have clips and find some clips from these so you can either refresh your memory or at least get an idea of what the songs sound like. But the first one I picked for Matt was Something About You by Level 42. Vocal dynamic, vocal range for him, absolutely dead on with that song. And plus it's got a funky enough vibe to it and still a kind of a rock edge that I think he would really appreciate. So hopefully he will hear that one and go, yeah, I can deal with this. And another one, which will definitely be a crowd pleaser, is Human by Human League. It's from that period where there was still a lot of synthesizers and drum machines and stuff, but I think the song could be done decently live, and I think he could do a great job with it. Plus, fantastic keyboard work on that. And since he's a piano man, this will be a chance to show off those chops again along with the vocals. So two choices perfect for Matt. For Lil, I thought it was going to be really hard to find something for her, but there are some pretty good choices that she could make with this year. And two of them that really caught my attention. First of all, any guy who tells you that when Anita Baker sings, he wouldn't be convinced to marry her is full of crap. I mean, Rapture is one of those albums I would have to classify in the just about the perfect category. When I first heard that album all the way through, I just basically hit repeat all on my CD player and just let the thing run. I mean, that is one of the albums right there. And it might be a risk for her because she is a completely different kind of vocal artist compared to Anita. But then again, you know, there is only one Anita Baker. But I put down Sweet Love for Lil. And I think she could do a decent job with it, but she just needs to, I guess, concentrate more on performance than overthinking how to please the crowd, how to please the judges, whatever. She needs to do this for herself, so hopefully that's a song that she connects with. And if she does, I think that she will get herself out of danger in terms of sliding down towards the bottom three, which she's been kind of skirting with for a while here. And we're getting down in numbers. So it's time to really step it up, and I think Sweet Love would help her do that. And as far as jams from that year go, one I think that would really perk up the audience and also perk up her ratings and her votes is I Can't Wait by New Shoes. If you never heard the song before, and I don't know who hasn't, go check out the sample. Great song for her to select if she does pick it. And if you are familiar with it, then I don't need to say any more. That would be awesome. Finally, Scott. Scott's more of a ballads type of guy, and I think it would probably be better for him to stick with that than to try to get funky or to try to get hip. Scott. For you, my friend, that's just not working out. So the two I picked for Scott was a ballad. First of all, a ballad called I'll Be Over You by Toto. I don't know if you remember that one, but it's very slow, very, very 80s, extremely 80s. And I think if he does just enough to spruce it up, it might get him by. If he just does a by the numbers cover, I don't know, might be perceived as being too cheesy, but then at this point, can it hurt? And the other one is No One Is to Blame by Howard Jones, which you might remember was a duet he did with Phil Collins. And that one, I think, would be a pretty safe bet for Scott as well, because both songs don't call for a lot of runs, a lot of vocal flashiness, a lot of straining to hit high notes, which Scott, at this point, you don't need to have to do it all. That would just not be a good thing for you. So those two are the ones I picked for Scott.